I think there'll be
You should have brought him to the firehouse the day that
Joel Griffith from Tivoli, the mayor, and we're at the wet down ceremony for the fire department. So my understanding is that this is a ceremony dating back to the 1800s. Can I hand the mic to you and you can tell us about it?
Yeah, well, like probably everyone who's not in a fire company, I never heard of a wet down until recently, and still am a little vague about what it actually is. I know it involves tradition, something like christening a ship, where the other fire companies come and I believe they hose our new vehicles, and we are very, very proud of those new vehicles. We lost two of them in the fire on July 5th, 2019. We lost one of our trucks and the ambulance. So these two vehicles just over here are their successors, their replacements, paid for with insurance money, designed and built by the fire company for exactly the bells and whistles they want. And it takes something like 400 days from start to finish to get your truck built, because every fire truck is unique. And the village board put in a little extra money to get some extra stuff beyond the insurance portion. So we actually have an expanded cab that can hold 6 firefighters comfortably inside rather than the typical 4. And what this company does in this area is singular, and we have to support them. The village board has to support this fire company because these people are volunteers. And they are going to literally run into any situation and help us, protect us, and try and save our lives by risking their own. It's the most noble thing, and it's just the bedrock of the village is this fire company. Tivoli is a village, and we are so small, right? We got 1,100 people here. New York State Village is the smallest, lowest rung of the municipal ladder under town. But even so, sometimes small is beautiful, small is intimate, small everybody knows each other, so the threads of community can really bind tightly together, and that's exactly what we see here in the solidity and, in fact, the growth of this fire company. Fire companies around the region are struggling to attract members, retain members, and thank God Tivoli is not having that problem. We are blessed with quite the opposite thing. People are showing up and signing up, and that really has to do with the leadership in this fire company, and particularly Chief Mark Hildenbrand. Really thrilled we got such a nice day for it, and the only water falling around here is going to be that which we chose from the hoses, and it's not raining, and we just have such a perfect, beautiful day in the Hudson Valley for this wonderful community event. So thanks for speaking with Tivoli.
It's a nice looking one.
We're trying to expand, to get more trucks in here and getting upstairs, build offices, a shelter, hangout spots.
Yes.
So we're trying to raise $3 million, I think, as our profit we're supposed to get. Since the fire, 2019, we've taken in probably 20 people in here, and we've grown to be one of the biggest departments in Lower Dutchess County.
It's a pretty big event for us. A couple years ago, we had a major fire in the firehouse, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with. It burned up one of our engines, and it burned up our ambulance. Burned up the whole base of the firehouse. So it's a pretty big deal finally getting to this point. It's taken a couple years really to get back on track with the engine, with the ambulance. All the mutual aid departments that are here today, they were actually the mutual aid departments that came to us that night, helped us rebuild, donated equipment, donated medical supplies, really to get us back on track. Within 24 hours, we were back in service. So it's a pretty big deal for us. This is kind of like the closure for it. But, that fire was really like a blessing and a curse for us. So, it definitely tried the department, but it really brought the department together. There was a lot more camaraderie with everybody. We actually have a heavy amount of new members coming in. We did a big push on recruitment, kind of redid some of the ways that we did things. And our department's almost doubled in size from where we were 2 years ago. We've got a tremendous amount of young people coming into the department, tremendous amount of people taking classes, so we really are in good shape right now. Yeah, we've probably got at least 22 new members in at this point. It might be pushing 30 at this point for what we've taken in. It's been a tremendous, I mean, it's been busy. It's been busy rebuilding. It's busy, one thing, building, speccing a truck. A lot of times that's a 2-year project. We had less than 6 months to do it, as well as, build an ambulance. So the truck committee that worked on this was a past fire chief, Robert Stafiro, my 2 assistant chiefs, Tom Chrissy Jr., Josh Coons, and myself. And we really put it together. I mean, put a beautiful truck together, beautiful ambulance together. And then, when you take that kind of recruitment in and get them in classes, that's a whole nother, takes up a lot of time. So thankfully, I've got some amazing members in this department who have stepped up, got people in fire gear, got people trained, started going through what they need to know before they started for class. So, yeah, I mean, it really is a great department. It really is a great group of men and women that operate out of this company. There's 2 things going on today. So the first thing is the wet down, right? So it's basically the blessing of the new ambulance and the new fire truck. So all our mutual aid departments are here. There'll be some speeches prior to it, and then we'll break the bottles of champagne, and then all the trucks will fire up and basically baptize it. More or less. So it should be a really, and thankfully it's turned out to be a beautiful day. We've got a ton of people here. The other thing for today is the start of our capital campaign. So we've taken in all these people. We've got all the brand new equipment. Well, the newer equipment is a lot bigger than it was 30 years ago when this firehouse was built. We don't have room right now even to hold a meeting with all our members inside this firehouse. We've taken in so many. It was tight before. We have no showers for decontamination for people, which is a huge issue. So right today is the start of our capital campaign. We've got an amazing woman, Samara Daly, and her partners, unbelievable community volunteers that are going out and spreading the word. And we hope within 12 months we can raise the money. Right now we're looking at about a $3 million project, but it'll actually add on a Red Cross emergency shelter. It'll add on 2 more bays for our equipment. It'll add bunk rooms for our members. It'll add command centers, meeting rooms. So it'll be 2 stories. The picture of it's actually right out in front of the firehouse. We have a brand new website, tivolifirehouse.org. You want to check that out for sure. And you can contribute right online. We have shirts here for sale. So yeah, it's a big deal for today. It's the closing of one chapter and opening of a next.
The old ones. So you know what I mean? I gotta get rid of them.
Good afternoon and welcome to our wet down ceremony today here in front of both of our pieces of new apparatus with our ambulance and our new fire truck. I'm Robin Bruno. I am the village clerk for the Village of Tivoli, but also hold positions within the department. I am a first lieutenant for fire police, corresponding secretary, and one of 4 of Tivoli Fire Department's board of directors. Here we are on this beautiful day, this amazing weather for a celebration that has come across now a couple of years after our fire in the fire department in July of 2019. Right after we had a joint celebration with Red Hook Fire Department with our centennial, but 2 years later, here we are with 2 new pieces of apparatus, but also the kickoff of our capital campaign, which will be to raise money to expand the firehouse. You see part of it behind me, and it's just so important and vital for the village, for the residents, and mostly for our firefighters that they're here overnight sometimes without a place to sleep, and to have an expanded firehouse and new apparatus and equipment, and just so much more available to our firefighters. We're really happy to be here and to kick off this fundraiser to expand on our firehouse. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joshua Coons, and I'm currently Tivoli 66-3. I'm one of the 4 board of directors. This is a wet down for our new fire truck that we actually lost in fire a couple years back. Just got it back in service. It's going to be a good day. A lot of people here. Hopefully it serves us well.
This is our wet down ceremony. We have 2 new apparatus here. We have our 6631, our new engine after the firehouse burnt down. And we have our new ambulance, 6671. So we're here to commemorate their arrival and have a fun day with the community. Yesterday we went to Taconics, which is out east of us. So I guess when they had horse and carriages as the fire trucks, it was a thing where they would wet the carriages because the wood would spread, I guess, and there was something to do with that. So it had to do way back when horse and carriage was the way to get the water to fire. So there's going to be a lot of water, a lot of water thrown around.
It's a nice looking one.
Hi, my name is Wayne Hildenbrand. I'm the president of the Tivoli Fire Department. My son Mark is the chief, and we don't know what's going on yet. I guess they're taking pictures. I've been a life member. I'm a life member. I've been a member of this company for over 40 years, and I'm very proud to be a member of this company and all it represents. My son Mark and my son Patrick, when they were very little, used to be up here with me, and I'm glad they've taken an interest in the fire company and progressed to this standpoint. I'm very proud of them and what they've accomplished, and also my youngest son Pat, who's the sergeant and acting chief of police in Red Oak PD. Both very good boys, do a lot of, they work very, very hard at what he does, and this is a great event. He's worked a long time and very hard on this since the fire, along with Robin, of course. He's worked very hard with them. It's been fantastic, and I'm very happy to be here today. I'm glad to see such a great crowd of people here today and a multitude of fire departments that have helped us out through a difficult time, and it's been good. So we're happy, and today's going to be a good day.
Tivoli has always been an example of resilience. This is the little village that could, but nothing really is more emblematic than what this fire department's been through these last several years and where they are today. Not only are they rebuilding their firehouse, not only are they christening 2 new trucks and ambulance, but they're also expanding. It's one of the few volunteer companies in the region that is seeing so many new members, young members, really engaged in getting involved, and that's a remarkable story of not only resilience, but of service and sacrifice, and so we're here to celebrate. So this is like a good old-fashioned christening, only instead of dropping the baby in the water or casually pouring it on the child, they're going to have every one of these water trucks hose it down, so you and I are going to get wet.
The other big thing that I want to thank our mutual aid companies. All these people that are out here today were the people that were there that day after the fire. He donated radios, hoses, nozzles, trucks, ambulance supplies. You don't think about that when Cheryl's yelling at me, we need gauze or tape, and those are little things you don't think about until they're burned up and you don't have a piece of gauze or anything else, and we're freaking out trying to find it. But thankfully, all of you guys stepped up, all the men and women, Northern Dutchess paramedics, your Mobile Life donated an ambulance, which if anybody needs an ambulance, we'd like to pay it forward. So if any department's looking to start an EMS crew or a second ambulance squad, let me know. We'll definitely hook you up. Again, working with these guys, many of the relationships we've made have never been stronger. We've developed, really, really good working relationships, and a lot of them are with departments that we've never, we've worked with before, but not really as tight as we were before. But everybody stepped up to the plate. It really brought everybody together. So again, thank you all for being here. There's a tremendous amount of people here that aren't necessarily fire folks, right? I can't even tell you how many emails and messages on what's a wet down. So, and I think I explained that on Facebook. If not, there's plenty of men and women here that can explain it to you afterwards. But take a look around. These men and women wearing these fire shirts, driving these trucks, they do this job for free. These volunteer fire companies put in thousands of hours of training, going to calls, meetings, leaving their families. They're the most selfless people you could really ask for. So again, they're the men and women that are coming out to help you on your worst day of life. So their service is invaluable. So give them all a round of applause for being here. Thank you. Thank you to the Village of Tivoli, Joel, the Village Board, Robin, the Village Clerk, who I drive crazy multiple times on a daily basis to set up accounts and find me money and yell at her on where my money went. But they do. They put up with me a lot. I do drive them crazy, and I always tell them I don't have enough money. But they did. They stepped up. They supported this fire company like no other village, prior. I mean, they're all together on the same page with us. They know what we need. They know the importance of the fire department and what it brings to this village. So again, thank you to the village for the countless meetings with insurance companies. They had to be in on it too. It wasn't just us. So again, the village board, thank you very much. I don't know where you went, Joel, and somebody's probably robbing my house right now, but we're all good. Thanks, Joel.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the beautiful village of Tivoli. We have a gorgeous day and a special day, an important day. I'd like to invite up the Village Board of Trustees. I see you here. I'd like you to come stand shoulder to shoulder with me as I talk about how much the Village of Tivoli is going to support the Tivoli Fire Company for what they've been doing for this community for over a century. It is about the most important thing I can think of. As Mark said, these men and women do this as volunteers. There are lots of days I think I'm a volunteer, but I actually get paid a little bit of money, which they don't even get. And when you've got that kind of a resource in your community that money can't even buy, that's the resource from the heart, that's about loving your neighbor, you have to take care of it. So that's what the Village Board of Trustees and I are going to do. We're going to help this fire department find all the money we need to expand this firehouse, because these people deserve the facilities they need, the room they need to do the job that they do for us. So I'm also going to ask for all of your help, and we're going to get this done. So thank you to all the other fire companies who work with us. This is what community is all about. We're small here in Tivoli. Some of you are a little bigger, but we're all kind of small in this corner of the world. And it's when we come together that we get big and we get strong and we can do what we need to do for our communities. So I'm just thrilled to play a small part of that. I bought my t-shirt, and I hope you will too. And anything you can do, there'll be no donation too small. $1 is not too small, $5 not too small. And we won't stop you if you want to pay more than that. But it's all about everyone recognizing what's going on in this community and why this fire company is so strong. All right, thank you.
I am very happy to be here. On April 1st of 1997, some of you remember it, most of you don't, we were hit by what was called snowbud. It was a snowstorm that knocked out most of the region, but closed Tivoli in for 14 days. Trees down, powers out, in the midst of a spring thaw, and the Tivoli Fire Department at that time, some of the names are still involved, Chrissy and Torsia and Ramsey and Simmons. For 14 days, this fire company pumped out basements, moved generators so men and women on oxygen had access to resources and electricity. We took up camp in the firehouse for 14 days, made meals and brought families together and delivered food. I was never prouder to be a Tivolian than at that moment. But the last year and a half, the last 2 years now, has made all of us proud to know all of you. To recognize the fact that volunteers took this building in a tragic occurrence and rebuilt it. Not only to today christen these new trucks, but more importantly than that, at a time when fire departments all across the country and all across our region are struggling for new members, where volunteers have their time and folks are distracted with so many things going on, this is one of the few departments in the entire region that is growing with new members, and a lot of young new members. And for that, you ought to be congratulated, because you really have held on to something special. I remember Judge Arnie Pease, who said to a reporter in 1997, he said, "If Tivoli is within you, you are always within Tivoli." Cheryl remembers that. The truth of the matter is all of you have had a piece of Tivoli within you. And for that, Tivoli will always remain a part of you. And to celebrate this rebirth today is so critically important, and I am thrilled to be a Tivolian and to know the men and women who volunteer every day for this department and are so very, very proud of all of you. In order to continue this effort of growing fire departments, in particular, and supporting fire companies across Dutchess County, I want you to know that in just a few weeks, Chairman of the Legislature Greg Pulver and I will announce, as part of the 2022 Dutchess County budget, a $2 million financial commitment to fire companies and emergency response crews all across Dutchess County. Those $2 million will be used to support small and large investments. And I want you to know today that building this new building is, as it was when I was mayor, is now an enormous priority for us. And Dutchess County will work with you to secure a significant amount of resources to help you rebuild and build this beautiful building as a regional shelter for those who need it. And I'm also proud today to tell you that even though your chief just submitted his grant for $20,000 for your department's juniors program, Dutchess County, as part of our Learn, Play, Create grant, is proud to award an initial $20,000 to the Tivoli Fire Department to get us off the ground. And so keep up the great work, and on behalf of the nearly 300,000 residents who call Dutchess County home, to my friends and neighbors, to my fellow Tivolians, thank you, congratulations, and God bless.
I'd like to begin the benediction with a moment of silence to remember the ultimate sacrifice made by our first responders and fire rescue personnel who perished in the World Trade Center attack on our nation 20 years ago this month. If we could have a moment of silence, please. Gracious God, Spirit of all life, we give thanks to you for the blessing you have provided our community with these emergency and fire safety vehicles. We ask your protection for those who operate within them. We pray for your compassion, mercy, and healing for those who are in need of their use. We ask that you continue to walk with, guide, and protect our brave men and women who provide emergency and fire rescue services and public safety protection for our community. We offer this prayer in all the holy names of God. Amen.
What we're going going to do is we're going to get all these trucks fired up. We'll run fog nozzles, no smooth bore, kind of shoot up in the air. We won't take anybody out, but everybody should participate in this, especially the kids. And we're just going to flood this parking lot. They're going to spray all the water, bless the ambulance, bless this truck. So what we're going to do is give us a couple minutes. We got to move the radios, the speakers. We got to move this podium or the village will kill me. We're going to get the ladder set up, and then we're going to light everything up. So make sure you hang out and get wet. Thank you.